Welcome to Unity Center of Peace, and welcome to you wherever you are in the world. Today is July 6th, 2025, the only one that is and will ever be. My name is Mary Shapiro, and we're happy that you're all here. We're going to start with a blessing and a song, and then we'll have some statements, and then we have a talk. And today's talk is called Grief and Grievance, or Grief and Gratitude. Then we'll have a time of short meditation. Then we'll have a time of reflection for you if you wish to add your thoughts that came up during the talk or during the meditation. Then we have a closing song and a closing blessing. So that's the order of service. So if y'all could breathe in and breathe out. Be at least as interested in what goes on inside you as what happens outside. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Eckhart Tolle. Our opening song is by two women that call themselves Mamus. If you'd like to join in on the chorus, the words are on your screen. It's called The Power of Kindness. Ooh, I believe the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Oh, we don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. With kindness as our currency, the commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Oh, ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Look up now, people, keep your ears to the ground, 'cause we are the river flowing where generosity abounds. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. The honeybee serves sweetness only to help the world bloom. Bringing love to the flower, from the flower to the fruit, we can learn a thing or two. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, the power of love. Oh, oh, oh. I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Oh, and we don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. With kindness as our currency, the Commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, oh, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round. There's more than enough. Oh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love. Ooh, I believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, I believe in the power of love, power of love. So now Neil and friends are going to be doing some readings for us.
Okay. And after I do the statements, Gloria will read the daily word. Would that be okay with you? For the order of service? Okay. I'm assuming yes. Our vision statement. Unity Center of Peace is a thriving spiritual community offering love, peace, and support to all. Our mission is to spread the unity message by opening our doors and our hearts to the healing and expansion of personal and global consciousness. Our prosperity statement. We believe that true prosperity is a sense of fulfillment in every area of our lives, of our minds, our bodies, our emotions, and our circumstances. We are richly, bountifully, and beautifully prospered in every good way, so it is, and so we let it be. And our statement of peace. We stand for peace, we stand for love, we stand for forgiveness. We honor the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. For there is only one power and presence of God, and God loves each one of us equally. We urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name and to pursue peace. For peace honors the God of all faiths. We stand for peace in our lifetime. Now, Gloria, the daily word.
Yes. Today is Sunday, July 6th, 2025. Today's word is possibilities. I open my mind to limitless possibilities. There are limits to what my mind can imagine. I may find a challenge too big to overcome or too complex to work through. In the past, I might have avoided such challenges, but today I turn within for guidance. Within my inner sanctuary, I find infinite possibilities. For God, nothing is or ever could be impossible. As a spiritual being, I open my mind so these possibilities can enter my imagination. With spiritual sight, I begin to comprehend what is possible. I begin to apprehend what is possible. I emerge from my prayer time filled with inspiration and clarity, ready to take the steps necessary to make my vision a reality. I return again and again to the limitless field of infinite potential, where I can claim divine ideas and know the presence and power of God is in and through all things. And from the Bible, for nothing will be impossible with God. That's Luke chapter 1, verse 37. Today's word is possibilities.
Wow, that's beautiful and perfect. I do not get the daily word, and some people are like, "Oh, I build my talk about the daily word," but you know what? I build my talk, and the daily word fits. I think that's Holy Spirit at work. So my talk today is grief and grievance, or grief and gratitude. We'll find out. I've been thinking a lot about grief lately and a lot about death. Um, as most of you know, I am in a new chapter of my life becoming a certified music practitioner, and I actually did receive my certification and I graduated on June 24th, which would have been my mom's 90th birthday. And she's the reason that I am in this new chapter of my life, bringing healing music live to people in hospital and hospices. I'm thinking a lot about grief and gratitude and grief and grievance right now, today, because it was 1 month ago exactly that my brother Jim died in hospice. I got to be with him, and it was an experience of grief and gratitude to be there the last 11 days of his life. And I'll share more about that. Gratitudes. Grief and grievances more recently. 2 days ago was 4th of July. And some people might be grieving the death of freedom in this country and might have a grievance about that and where it's going. That's not what this talk is about today. Over 6 months ago, actually we'll go back, 76 days ago on April 21st, 2025, Pope Francis died. He was 88 years old. A little bit more recently than that, excuse me, we're going back again. Over 6 months ago, another death in the public eye, Jimmy Carter. He was 100 years old. He died on December 29th, 2024. Exactly 1 year, 1 month, and 10 days after his wife Rosalind died. He won the Nobel Prize in 2002 after he had been the president, and he died peacefully in his home in the Plains, Georgia, surrounded by his family. President Biden declared a national day of mourning and a federal holiday for January 9th. What was January 9th? January 9th was his funeral service. So we've got people in the public eye to grieve for. Do we grieve with gratitude? Do we grieve with grievances? Or maybe both. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, back in the 70s, did some research on people in their different stages of death and grieving. And it wasn't just about death as far as a physical death. People have applied it now to any kind of loss of a job, loss of an idea, loss of a dream. We go through different stages of things, and it's not a straight line. It's not even a curvy line. It's just kind of a whole mess of lines. At least it is in my life. To keep revisiting all the different stages of our emotions. So what I'd like to talk to is I'd like to bring it home and hopefully share this with you, and it's not new. 5 Wishes. This is a document for end of life. And, you know, it's not just having a will, it's having how the first wish is the person I want to make care decisions for me. The second wish is the kind of medical treatment I want or don't want. The third wish is how comfortable I want to be. The fourth is how I want people to treat me. And the fifth is what I want my loved ones to know. So this can be a legal document here in the state of Virginia and in a lot of other states. Some states you have to actually have it signed. It's really good because you can go and you can cross out the things that you don't want. They list things, you cross out things you don't want, and you've got space to add the things that you do want. So it's a very simple document. I've been doing it with my husband. I didn't get to do it with my brother Jim. It was one of those conversations I wish I woulda. It would have made life after his death a lot easier. So I'm kind of on a mission now to get everyone I know to have the conversation. Get your affairs in order so that life is easier at the end and easier after the end. One of the questions is, wish number 5, my wish for what I want my loved ones to know. Cross out anything you don't agree with. I wish to have my family and friends know I love them. I wish to be forgiven for the times I've hurt my family, friends, and others. I wish to have my family, friends, and others know that I forgive them. I wish for my family and friends to know that I do not fear death. I think it's not the end, but a new beginning. I wish for all of my family members to make peace with each other before my death. And I added, if they can. Can be my wish, but it might not be theirs. I wish for my family and friends to think about what I was like before I became ill. I want them to remember me in this way after my death. I wish for my family and friends and caregivers to respect my wishes, even if they don't agree with my wishes. I wish for my family and friends to look at my dying as a time of personal growth for everyone, including me. This will help me live a meaningful life in my final days. So some of you might know Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, 5 stages of grief and dying. They've added another one, the stage of meaning. I wish for my family and friends to get counseling if they have trouble with my death. I want memories of my life to give them joy and not sorrow. After my death, I'd like my body to be buried, cremated, given to science. You get to circle one. My body or remains should be put in the following locations, and the following person knows my funeral wishes. So here's the fun part I really like. If anyone asks how I want to be remembered, please say the following about me. I'm going to say it again. I want you to think about it for a second before you hear my answer. If anyone asks, how do you want to be remembered? Please say the following. If anyone asks, how do you want to be remembered? I would say, Mary never met a stranger. Mary loved to talk and listen to real life stories live. Mary loved music and she loved to sing. If there is a memorial service for me, I wish for the service to include the following. List your music, songs, readings, or other specific requests you have. And of course, being a singer, I listed a bunch of songs. The Sacred in All, which we will sing at the end of the service. It's a blessing song that I caught. I believe that songs, and some of my visual artist friends have said this too, that it's kind of already there and that they just catch it or they reveal it. Michelangelo said when he was carving statues that it's already underneath all the stone and he was just chipping away. So as a songwriter, I'm like, the songs are in the ethers and sometimes I'm lucky enough to be the one to grab it. So The Sacred in All is one of those. I would also like to sing I Can See Clearly Now. There's a song, Breathe In, Breathe Out, and that's going to take us into meditation. And then a song that a lot of people know called Amazing Grace. The words are from a man who was a slave trader and then decided not to, had a spiritual experience and wrote the poem, and then it was put to music. I especially like this song because there's a lot of stories in my life with them. But one of the most recent ones is I was playing at a assisted living place, and they had us in a circle in this rotunda, for lack of a better word. And so people were all around the outside edge, which I kind of liked rather than having them be auditorium style facing me. And I could walk around to each person and get a little closer, face to face. And someone had requested Amazing Grace. I usually don't play spiritual or religious songs because sometimes they're a trigger for some people. Or if I do, I'll just play it instrumentally. And I started to play it instrumentally. And I looked up, like I was looking up to heaven, and I was really closed my eyes and prayed because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to sing or not. And I looked up, and there were people in the balcony listening. And I hadn't even seen the balcony before. So I sang, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It was grace that brought my heart to fear, and grace my fears released. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. One of the glorious gratitudes I have of my brother's death and passing. There's so many. I'm going to write a short story, a book, working with someone on it, and going to have little footnotes of the details of what I call central booking, or synchronicities, or God winks. My brother's name was Jim. These are little things, but I thought they were wonderful. When we took him to the respite house, which is where he died, the volunteer coordinator's name was James. And James, the volunteer coordinator, had a sister named Mary. My brother Jim had been working with a grief counselor since the time he was told he was in hospice, since February. The grief counselor's name was Jim. So I went to talk to Jim days after Jim died. I went to talk to the grief counselor named Jim a couple days after my brother Jim died. So those were things that made me smile. Those little winks of God being present. I had prayed that Jim would not die in his friend's living room, and that and that I would be there when he died. And I changed my flight twice, and I was there. And he died in the respite home of Hospice of the North Coast. So these things bring me grace, amazing grace, when I think of the times that God has been with me on my journey, and especially in the journey of grief when my brother died. I want to add one more story of a death, which is very much a grief and very much a grievance for me at this time. On Juneteenth, which is Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, I finished my certification as a music practitioner and sent in the papers and pushed send and was so happy. And the next morning, I found out from a friend that our dear friend Stuart had died that night. We don't know of what. He had gone into the emergency room with a friend of his, had taken him complaining of lower back pain. They sat in the emergency room for over 5 hours. And he died at 2 o'clock in the morning. We don't know the details because we're not family. We don't know if he's going to get what he wants out of his life, what he wanted out of his life, because he and his family were not close. We don't know if he had a will. We don't know if they're going to respect it. So woven into this grief of losing this man is the grievances of possible injustice, the grievances of not knowing and not being able to do anything externally. And all we can do, all I can do, is to go to God and listen and try to find peace and gratitude for Stuart's life. I'm going to write him a letter, dear Stuart, and listen and see if I get anything back. So, grief and gratitude, grief and grievances. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want to have at your memorial service or celebration of life? I'm going to play a short song and take us into meditation and back out again. And then if you wish to share your thoughts, I, for one, would love to hear them. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Thank you. If you'd like to share, please raise your hand. Mr. Leon.
Thank you, Mary. This is a very valuable lesson that we're learning this morning. And I wanted to agree with you and even strengthen the your 5 wishes plan. Uh, I think it's a very good thing to have some of your wishes put into a place where your family and friends know where they are. And it'll assuage a lot of the residual guilt that some folks might have because there's always more stuff than you can possibly do, and you're always having coulda, shoulda, woulda regrets a little bit, and if you do the best you can when you can, and try to and you know what the person wants, that's going to help a whole lot. So.
Hallelujah. Yes. One of the greatest gifts that my father ever gave me, and he didn't actually give it to me, damn it. I was given the charge of writing his obituary. And he was a professor at the University of Minnesota. I knew nothing about his career, his life career. I know that he touched a lot of people, but I didn't know what to write or how to write that part. And I was looking through his papers and I found an obituary that he had written. Not only was it fun and beautiful, but it released me of any responsibility. It was the best gift I have ever received, and it was after he died, and it wasn't monetary. It was just the greatest gift. So I know that for me, I'm going through a lot of emotions when someone dies. Don't let me get my paperwork stuff done. Let me get done as much as I possibly can so that I can be present with the actual motions of what's going on for me and the other people. So yes, thank you for underlying that. Leon, do you have your own, or is that too personal of a question?
Um, well, of course it is, but yes.
I'm not
Uh,
asking you what it says. I'm just asking if you have it.
oh yes, my wife and I have a loose leaf folder with,
Yes.
where all the treasures
Yeah.
hidden and things that we might want at a service and the whole 9 yards. And we've entitled it "Parties Over." And but I haven't written my own obituary because that would have nothing to do with reality. So
All the more reason it would be fun, right?
yeah,
So,
that's right.
so here's another thing that this document comes with is, oops, sorry, can you see it? It's a wallet card. So you put it in your wallet. So if someone finds you and they don't find anything else, if they at least find your wallet that says that you've got this thing and where is it? Right? Because it doesn't do any good if no one can find it.
Right.
So that's what that is.
Mhm.
Thank you. Any thoughts? Thank you so much, Leon. Other thoughts?
This is Patty. I just finished our will not long ago, and it took a while because we're married with previous kids. In other words, we come with a combined family, or
Hmm.
I forget what you call that, but anyway, Robert's got kids, I've got kids, and when our son died, it was a lot of things stopped for me. A lot of changes. It changed my life and my feelings about all the things that I believed in, and all I had to reevaluate and redo all those things and reset my life and its value, and even how I feel about life after death, and some amazing things have come from that, including understanding that I will see my son again, and not only will I see him, but just as Bill Wilson said when I was too upset to really appreciate what he said, was that your son is dancing and talking to everyone because that's what he loved to do. And so at the time that he said that, I was too stricken to even appreciate, and I even was upset at him for saying that
Right.
for some reason. But anyway, I decided that I would check the old will and we would write a new will together, because my will was before Robert and I, which has been 22 years. So my will was over almost 25 years old, and life changes frequently. What I would suggest is that if you do write all those wonderful things that you talked about, review it with whoever will listen, and
Yes.
review it with uh, every few years,
Yep.
because life changes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's a constant, that life changes.
Hmm.
It took me a long time to get what that meant. I resisted change terribly as a young person, and as an older person, what I get was life changes, and that's part of life, and it's okay, and stop the resistance and be with the change. And so anyway, this was great. Thank you so much. I was
Thank you,
really looking
Patty.
forward to seeing you again.
Mwah.
Thank you, Mary. Did you want to say anything, Robert?
it's, I miss her son
Yeah.
in many ways, and he's been a role model for me, even though we're 40 years apart
Mm.
in age. And I had my difficulty trying to get Patty to believe that Pablo is not dead. He's just gone to the other side of a veil, and none of us are going to die because it's like the grass gets mowed, but 2 weeks later you got to mow it again.
I love that. I love that.
Kind of, I've taken a whack at writing a will, and frankly, at the moment, I can't remember where it is, but she's got a cardboard box
Yep.
full of journals that I've written since 1950s, and
Very large box.
There you go.
it's a cubic yard.
Nice. So the other cool thing in today's world, the good thing about it is you could just talk and have it be
We still
recorded.
have a chance to communicate. Thank you.
Right. You could just talk and record it. And, if writing seems like a huge task and going through all these things, seems like a huge task, you can record it.
And we have to also done that. His kids love to come over and
Of course.
turn the microphone on and listen
Of
to his voice.
course. I love that. Yes. And get them involved, right? Have them ask questions now, instead of afterwards going, hey, tell me about. It's like, no, you can tell them about.
Cheap advice worth the price.
I love you, Bob.
I have talked about plans for my demise. And I'm just wondering if people are wondering whether they should, well, I'm not really sure how to go about this. If you say in your 5 wishes plan that you want to be cremated and maybe spread over the mountains in the Shenandoah,
Mhm.
but maybe your children want to have a grave site to go to.
Right.
So are you making plans that honor you, or are you making plans that your family want?
That's a great, great question. I know for myself, I'll tell the personal and then I'll tell the professional reply. Personal reply, my dad wanted at his funeral, he wanted, myself to sing a song. He wanted my brother Jeff to tell a joke. He wanted my brother Jim to do this. He wanted to be recorded and come back at his own funeral and all those types of things. And we're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And we would tease him and say, you'll be dead. We can do whatever we want to do. That's the fact. And I hear what you're saying as far as I'm projecting maybe, you love yourself and you know what your own wishes are. And you love these other people that love you that might want something different. So back to the personal, and some people totally disagree with this, but my parents were cremated, and we had their ashes in a number of different places, including a gravestone. So that's the way we handled that one. Technically, as far as the 5 wishes go, if you say something in there, it is supposed to be respected. Now, I can also tell you, depending upon who finds it, they get to decide if what you actually wrote, what was actually said. So that's one of the challenges with the medical industry, as far as you can have a POLST, which is this was my brother's long legal document. It's called a POLST. It stands for Physician Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment. And so on this, he checked, no artificial means of nutrition, comfort-focused treatment, and then information and signatures. So we carried this with us everywhere that we went while he was living. Now, if we hadn't carried it and he went into cardiac arrest and this, no one found this, then they would have resuscitated him because that's what the medical industry does. That's what they've been taught. That's the law of what they're supposed to do. So it's up to us to get our documents in order and to carry them with us if we want it to happen. And even then, you can't always get what you want. And hopefully you get what you need, to quote the Rolling Stones.
Mary, Dave wrote a note and was my question.
Okay.
Where can we get a copy of this 5 Wishes?
So it's online, and some places they charge it. I can send the link to you too, but it's called the 5 Wishes. It's online, and you can usually get it from your local hospice. This hospice of the Piedmont is giving these out. They would love it if you called them and said, "Hey, I'm interested in the 5 Wishes, and I'm interested in when I go into hospice talking to you guys about it. What can you tell me about what hospice is like?" And they'll give it to you for free. It began, Jim Towie was working with Mother Teresa and living in Washington, D.C. He sought a way for patients and their families to plan ahead and to cope with serious illnesses. And the result is this 5 Wishes document. Yeah. It's available in 26 languages, just in case.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's something I
yeah.
never heard of before.
Really? I love it because it's so easy. You cross out the ones you disagree with.
Yeah.
You can cross out the parts you don't have to think of it. And it becomes a legal document. So some states you have to have it notarized, but not. You do have to have a witness. And there are 2 needed. And they need to be over 18. But other than that, we don't have to have it notarized in here in Virginia. So
Yeah.
getting it's the easy part. Doing it is sometimes the hard part. Thanks for asking, Jane and Dave.
Is this being recorded, Neil?
He's,
Right now? Good.
Yeah.
'Cause I wanted to tell Patty,
Neil's the coolest.
my father and mother shared a space in the Parma Corners Memorial Yard, which is only 4 square yards. I mean, it's 4 acres. It was really not a big cemetery. And when my brother died, he added his a plaque. And I think Patty would be smart to add a plaque for the 2 of us and put that with mine, if however she wants to word it. So that minimizes the changes for the lawn mowing people. The plaque is flush with the ground, and we're thinking lovingly of everybody, and it's cheaper than to have a marble monument that requires a space. And height is the name, you remember, so we don't waste money on dead stuff like marble statues. It amazes me when I go to a cemetery to see some of the investments that, I mean, consider a mausoleum big enough to put a coffin in, that you're going to maybe add 3 or 4 more coffins to. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if they're hundreds, thousands, or millions.
Right. And this again was a gift from my parents, saying that they wanted to be cremated and saying what they wanted for their body, right? Because then I didn't have to sit there and try to decide with my brothers, who might have been like, well, no, we really need the money or whatever, right? That is not the time to be making those kind of decisions. And the people at the funeral homes, it's their job. It's their job to take care of you in the best way that they think is best. And it might not be the way that you think is best if you're in your right mind, but you're grieving.
Right.
So,
Another fact for my record is that Patty is aware of my love of trees. So plant a tree for me,
Yes.
I'll be a happy camper.
Yes.
Lots of trees we're gonna plant.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
At least one for me.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your wishes, can't be met. My father's like, put me in a cardboard box. I don't want to spend money on any kind of, thousands of dollars for some kind of a coffin or something. It doesn't matter because my body is gone,
Right.
And I said, Dad, I can't put you in a cardboard box. They won't let that. We had to sneak to bury our dog in our yard.
Right.
But and like Pop, they thought they had it all worked out. I don't know why they didn't think about this, but when Grandma died, he went to plan the service. He had bought the plots and everything for a long time. They had it all worked out. When we got ready to do the burial, they said, "Oh, we didn't realize she wasn't Jewish.
What?
And only Jewish people can be buried in this land." And so, but if you cremate, then we'll allow her to be in the mausoleum part where you have the little,
Right.
things. And so then he had to change his plans, sell the 2 plots, make it so that he could also be cremated. So they thought they had everything all worked out, but I just really, check into it, because you don't think about everything yourself.
You
And
don't.
I wouldn't have thought about it, but I know we should have, because
No, you should
all
not have. That
yeah.
wasn't your job. That
Yeah.
was the job of the
Mhm.
cemetery. I'm sorry.
Well, but when you go to the facility at the cemetery, I mean, they've got like a Christian section, they
Right.
have a Jewish section, and all. It's a really beautiful, elaborate place, and it just never entered my mind. But because of the fact that it was
That's
originally, it's like in New Jersey where they have all the graveyards for people
Right.
from New York to be buried.
Right. Right.
Uh, and they just said, if she's going to be in the ground, she has to be Jewish. And so it did it. At the snowball, people had to make decisions. Luckily, Pop is still alive, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you can cremate me." He said, "I didn't really want to, but but then now their little plaques are right next to each other,
Nice.
and that sort of thing.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing that.
I do want to say something.
Yeah, Zach.
There probably won't be a joke today.
Oh, come on. I was hoping there'd be some really good ones on this
He always tries
topic.
to think of one for you.
That I was taken to a different place of being so grateful that I now know this exists, because it would have been such a help with my maternal grandmother,
Right. Well,
who never wanted to talk about any of this stuff. But I know the way you described those 5 questions, that I could have worked them into conversation without.
Right. She wouldn't have had to do it. That's a good idea, just to kind of work it in,
So there's another website that I will share. You can probably remember it pretty easily, Zach. It's called The Conversation Project. And they have these short little 1-minute videos even that you can watch a video together, and then you can say, okay, see how they did it? Can we do this?
Yeah.
Really, The Conversation Project. And you can blame me. You can say, hey, on Sunday there was this crazy woman that told me about this thing. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
The Conversation Project.
my experience with my grandfather and my grandmother were so different, because one of them talked about it and one of them didn't.
Right.
And I
Right. My mom was a boy. I mean, she was a person that, if you can have this dichotomy, she was scared to death of death.
Yeah.
But she wasn't afraid of being dead. You know what I mean? I don't know how to.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so, she just wouldn't mention anything like what she wants at her funeral. Sometimes she'd have a joke or something. This is what I want at my funeral, but I'm not sure it was really. The only thing that she ever said to us is, she said, "I want my last words to be, I love you too."
Oh.
And so, it
Oh
worked
my
out,
God.
and those were her last words. Because my brother and I were like poised to To be sure to see.
I wasn't sure if you think she has to say it.
Oh, yeah.
I
It wasn't real loud. You were there, but it wasn't real loud. Maybe you didn't hear. But
I love
so
that.
those kind of things, I think of all the things we could have arranged or prepared for, that was the thing. It almost meant that she was a little more aware when she was saying that than
Yeah.
she might have been in the previous hours and that sort of thing. So, and
Thank you. I
yeah,
love that.
you know, you never know.
I love the fact that you said that she said, I love you too.
Yeah, because she said, then I
Because-
know that's what the last thing somebody said to me was.
Right. Exactly. It's not just I love you. She had heard someone else say I love you. And
Yes.
then she was responding. Oh, I need to write that one down for myself.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, you have your hand up like a patient soldier. Thank you.
Yeah. When would it be said that I have nothing to say, about this topic? When you first started, I went, oh, yes. The energy was pushing me into my chair.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's not easy.
we have celebrated so many people, and we know we've been to their celebration service,
Mm.
congregation. We've been together for such a long time. And there's so much humor that comes up in
Yes.
in the videos that they show. And I keep this right alongside my meditation.
Oh,
One of the latest
Aw.
transitioners who left
yeah.
behind. But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. There's so much that I gathered from this talk. I mean, if I get somebody to smile, that's my day. If I get two people to smile, my God, pay it forward, and I can relax the following day.
Nice.
I mean, my son and I are kind of estranged right now. My wife and we haven't seen him in a while. But I just remember so many good times. Like I really enjoyed watching the kids grow up and learn the English language because it was so funny. Like Snuffleupagh's was like had all Sesame Street names. And I remember one time my son was really upset with me about something and I was probably wrong. I'm sure I was. And I'm OCD and I like things in their place. And I used to love to do the lawn out front in Rochester. We had a really big driveway and they had to be straight lines and they had to overlap just right. I came home and we have a big giant Christmas tree in the middle of the front lawn. He went in circles around the tree. And then I just stood there. You see, my eyes were steaming. But the kids have done so many incredible things that you have to laugh. And that's the whole idea. I was thinking about what I would like people to say about me. And
So what is it that you want us to say about you?
well, yeah, right.
Wait, I like this one. How about you?
Yeah.
His goal was to make people smile every day.
Yeah. I mean, I
That's a
have
good one. That's true, right?
I love pipes and drums. I love drumming with JT, who was a Cherokee medicine man on the Cherokee Reservation. I
Good.
love music. I loved volunteering throughout my life and just helping people. You know,
Yeah.
I, sometimes you say, "Oh, the ego's doing it so you can get accolades," but no, I mean, I just when you get someone to smile or you give them something and it wasn't expected, or you do it anonymously. Because, like it's like when you pray for something, go into your room, close the door, and pray to the Father in silence.
Yeah.
Don't advertise it like, like they did, in the temples in Israel. They
Right.
come in, they give money, and they tell how much money they gave and all that kind of stuff. But this is so much that this brings up, and it's just, what are you holding up?
I want you to tell me what this says. There's a word in there.
Oh, okay.
Always been terrible with the magic
Let's
eyes.
see. I can make her big. Let's make her picture bigger. Okay. There's a
Ugh.
word.
I
There's
see
one
joy.
word.
Joy.
Huh?
It's
Joy.
Joy. Yes. Yes, I see it now. See right there, Zach.
Where
Right
did
there.
it start?
Right here.
It's all over the place. It doesn't actually
It
start
goes
around.
around that circle right there.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
the
it's
dollar.
part of the design.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's
Neil, this is you. This one's for you, Neil.
That looks like
Joy,
my
joy,
brain,
joy,
actually.
joy,
That's
joy,
my,
joy,
that's my
joy,
brain.
joy.
Beautiful.
I wanted to say also that somehow in the talks that we've experienced over the last couple of this year, there's more about we don't die.
Interesting.
No, and there's more of that surfacing and coming to the fact of, okay, we've had years of celebrating lives, but there's something beyond the veil, like you were saying,
Mm.
that I experienced it with my mother, and I shared that story 900 times with this congregation, how my mother passed away and how I prayed for her when I was on Mount Shasta and so forth, and she passed exactly how I had prayed. So there are forces beyond are viewing with our minds or touch or feel that are watching over us, our angels, I mean, Jane and I have had many conversations about that. And it's almost exciting. It's scary, it's scary because we've seen some people pass that it hurt. It hurt to watch that process. But there's something beyond that it's not like I'm looking forward to it, but it's kind of an excitement now that I mean, with Jeff was fascinated by near-death experiences and he read so much stuff about it. I don't think he wanted to come back. I think he got a glimpse about what was going on and says, "This is it, man."
Yeah.
And he's dancing and he's probably doing real estate right now, I'm sure. He's into real estate. He had a great sense of humor. So he's selling homes and so forth with I mean, I'm done.
Thank you so much for bringing us joy, bringing me joy, speaking for myself. Did anyone else have anything to share before we go too far over?
I
I
want
would love
to
to hear.
urge us to value our memories. And I'll tell you briefly, I was at sea aboard a Coast Guard cutter, 327 feet long, less than a third of the length of an aircraft carrier. So it's a little bitty ship. And we were in 75-mile-per-hour winds. And when you're in the middle of the North Atlantic, the waves become 50 or 60 feet tall from the crest to the trough. And so our little 300-foot ship would go through that crest and it would dive in the green water, would come over the bow and go around the hull of the superstructure. And one day I was in the black gang, so I was in the engine room most of the time. But I was sent to the bridge, and when I got up to the bridge via the ladders outside the hull, I was above all of this and had a chance to view it. And this is what makes the memory so indelible. 6 dolphins were surfing down the face of the wave that was to our left. And it was kind of like, you don't get this kind of fun every day, folks. So value your memories, love.
Oh, more joy, more joy, more joy. Thank you.
Great.
Any more? Any more?
Um,
I'm going to threaten
I can't remember what I said and what
I think you said stuff. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do a closing song here of the sacred in all. And then we'll do Let There Be Peace on Earth, because that's what we do. Thank you so much all for coming today. And if you watch the recording and have any questions, please contact me. Phone is best, 202-294-2906. This song is called The Sacred in All. It's a blessing song for you or someone that you're praying for right now. God go before you, leave peace behind you. Send angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. 'Cause if you see with God's eyes and you hear with God's ears, when you touch with God's hands, she will calm all your fears. Open your mind, help your heart understand the sacred in all. So love go before you, leave peace behind you. Send angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. Will teach you and show you the sacred in all. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you.
Love you, Mary. Love you all. Thank you.